Daniel Grant, thank you ever so much for the tip regarding the plug-in rodent killers, which apparently very much deter the ants. They're on the way. Anyway, on the deck right now is an upper body training session. The implements of misery have been set up, and yes, still waiting for the kettlebell and the weights. Ten, hopefully. Breakthrough. First time in probably about 14 weeks I've got into double figures. Obviously I wasn't training that for about, I don't know, 8 of them, 9 of them. 10. Well, how happy am I with 10? They weren't the prettiest. And then back to our old favourite. And I'll spare you the other 3 sets of this. And yoga is occurring while I have my little rest between sets. Well, I'm feeling very uplifted and Zwiftish, because just enjoyed a very cheeky little workday live stream comprising 2 circuits of the Bologna course. Love the Bologna course. The field was stacked, so obviously I got dropped. I mean, it had Gus Borman, Ed Laverack, Quinton Moliners in the field, but also a whole bunch of other high quality riders. And very happy really to put down, you know, a couple of decent climbs, and including the build up to the climb, there was 2 basically 9-minute efforts. The first, 330 watts normalized, 224 watts average. The second, 314 watts normalized, 309 watts average, and that's pretty decent for me. And myself and Oliver Ducker, who I also follow on Zwift Companion, we came in a little bit behind Ed and Gus and Quinton and others, but nonetheless with respectable average watts per kilogram and normalized watts per kilogram. So now time for the post-race nutrition. It doesn't really deviate. I am really this boring. The vegan protein from Huel is on the deck. Nice little scoop there that's got, I think, 25 or 24 grams of protein in it from pea and rice sources. Obviously I'm spilling stuff here and Jane's gonna not like that. The hippie milk's already in there. In will go, see if I can do it nicely. Ooh, a bit of a spillage, but not too bad. And that's all right, actually. That's not too bad for one-handed. Only 2 blueberries dropped there. None on the floor. And of course, the greens. Now I have got 650, let me get a decent scoop here, come on. Don't want to stint on the post-ride greens, all that goodness. 650 milligrams nestling there in the water. Just get the top on this and then do the downing. There we go. What could go wrong here? There you go. Look at the goodness. That minty, fresh goodness. Obviously I'm separating the ingredients. I do accept that probably the minty greens, blueberries, Huel and the hippie milk probably wasn't the best combination. Now I've got to get this to the side to avoid the peak of the cap. So here we go. Max effort, full gas greens drinking. I don't think that was a PB, but still a pretty decent effort. And Daniel Grant, splendid news. Your suggestion for the anti-rodent devices, well, they've arrived and we've installed them. One over there and one just here. And guess what? You're 100% right. The ants don't like the anti-rodent devices. Who'd have thought it? However, in terms of the protein shake, the news, I guess is less positive. Check this out. I've got my mixing wrong again. Look how gloopy that is. It's like I was never here.
To your right butt cheek at the top, core is active. Again, I'll just show you from the front. So left foot steps back.
Lovely single leg work there. And this is Jane's latest guru for her treacherous workouts. And very importantly for me actually, something that I do admire from this new lady is that she's undertaking the workout in a flat that actually looks lived in. Well, I'm guessing that even Jane's latest guru doesn't do her workout in the emergency stairwell. And I gotta say, even I'm getting a little bit bored of these two movements, still waiting for the weights to arrive. Anyway. Another 10. I'll take that. I literally can't be bothered.
And done, awesome work.
I got to basically the second set of pull-ups, started rotating, I don't know, like a Christmas tree decoration, gave up after 4 reps. So now I'm gonna try for the 100 press-ups. Again, hating the press-up. Cannot wait for the weights to arrive for this thing. Let the press-ups commence. Set number 3. Oh, 226s and 25. Tiny bit better. Okay, big set here. This is for 100 reps in 4 sets. I need 23 reps to get that. God, didn't think it'd be that difficult. Anyway, well, resurrected something from this morning's upper body. And as Peter Sagan says, integral to being able to produce high power, evenly distributed through each leg, through the crank, is a strong core. So I'm looking to work here on the legs raised crunch, really to emphasize the mind-muscle connection. So, key is initiating the movement by really squeezing the abs hard and breathing out on the way up, in on the way down. A little pause at the top, ready to crunch the abs, and then back down in a controlled fashion, aiming for about 100 reps. It's been a while. I gotta say, when you get to about 50, it feels like a very big mountain to climb. But with a little bit of micro recovery, you can just about see them off. Probably the range of motion, I think definitely the range of motion was getting a little bit shorter on each rep, but definitely I was keeping the focus here on the abs. You're not looking to hinge at the hips here. You're looking to really crunch the abs to initiate the movement. And so it isn't a very big range of motion, it's a relatively small range of motion in order to keep the tension here. This is literally our first foray into a coffee shop in the last 14 weeks. So cheers. That is good, really good. It's time for the pre-waist weigh-in. It's about 7:25 in the morning on a Saturday. At 8:10, I'm undertaking a race on the Four Horsemen route in Watopia, and it comprises a short 3-minute climb, a 7 or 8 minute climb on a volcano route. Then we're onto the Ford KOM, about a 22 minute climb for me, and finally Alpe de Zwift, let's say 50 minutes. So I'm going to need to really pace myself well, because I haven't really undertaken anything much more than, I don't know, 30-40 kilometers of riding, maybe 1,100, 1,400 meters of ascending in the last 8 weeks or so. So trying to make sure I don't burn myself out. Weather's not exactly perfect for an indoor ride. Looking to get back out and training on the bike either tomorrow or Monday. Because it's early, in terms of the pre-race nutrition, I'm going with the amino acids to help protect the muscles, stop them being broken down quite so much during the race. Coffee, and also a very fast digesting carbohydrate source. This is branched chain cyclic dextrine. It's a small molecule in terms of the carbohydrate. It's digested very quickly, gets into the bloodstream, and therefore the muscle glycogen really quickly. And here's the data on the critical power graph for the ZWC weekend race on the Four Horsemen route. Only 60 kilometers, but about 2,000 meters of climbing, plenty of calories burned, and look, that is a really big TSS, probably the biggest TSS I've ever had in that kind of time. Really pleased with the average power, 252 to 253 watts, it says 253 average over the race, and an amazing live chat. Really, I'm feeling very grateful and very elated. Grateful for all of the support for the channel. Thank you very much for your support. It's hugely appreciated, and all the support on the live chat, the encouragement, the banter, and the advice certainly helps time fly by. And when you're on the climb and trying to sustain that kind of infernal pace, trying to avoid blowing up, that all makes a massive, massive difference. So thanks again. And really happy with the race overall. It's definitely my best ever ride indoors, best ever race, indoors or outdoors. For once I actually managed to execute on a plan, i.e. to invest the WKG on the climbs and recuperate on the descents and the flat. And that's very much Ed Laverack style. You know, watched a lot of his racing over the last 4 or 5 months, and deliberately let kind of people in that first group go, because I knew if I tried to stay with them I'd just blow myself up, and pretty much rode to the powers that I'd envisaged on each of the climbs. So that little KOM at the beginning, that 2.5 minutes, probably in the kind of 305 to 310 watt range. On the volcano climb, a little bit less than I'd envisaged again, probably in the kind of 290 watts range. But then on the Ford KOM and the climb to the radio tower, that was 275 watts, so right on the money. And then on Alpe de Zwift, probably in the kind of 260, 265 watt range, probably 260 in all honesty. But again, very happy with that, right on the money. And overall, the power there, 252, 253 watts, is like something like 3.97 to 4 watts a kilogram, and that's definitely a personal best for me over that time. So really feel like I've taken a step forwards in terms of the fitness, and also it's a step forwards in terms of the endurance. I have been worrying a little bit about my endurance. I've learned a little bit about pacing there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, if we get to go to La Marmotte in September, it kind of bodes well for that, albeit obviously I'm going to be slower in real life, because the aerodynamics and rolling road resistance is very beneficial on Zwift.